How you guys doing? God bless you. I was just gonna release this word. What has God has been speaking? What has God been saying concerning certain things that have been happening in our nation? As far as Trump, as far as what is God doing? What has happened? What happened in California? What is God saying about California? I wanted to address a few of those things with you really quickly. So the Lord, there was a bill passed in California where it was not even a bill, it was a resolution, so it wasn't a real law, but it was still the fact. It was called Resolution 99. You go look it up. And it talked about pastors should be more careful when they're talking about homosexuality. Basically, they shouldn't preach against homosexuality. I want you to understand what that means. That the state, which our documents, our Constitution says, our Second Amendment right says that the government should make no law prohibiting the free exercise of religion. No law, not one law. And so the Democratic Party, which is a Democratic state, California, they're all Democrats that are over that making those laws, and most of them are homosexual themselves, are actually passing laws that are against the Constitution openly. So that lets you know that the Democratic Party, the Lord showed me prophetically that the hand of God was against the Democratic Party. What I mean by against is that he loves the Democratic Party, but that he was not happy with the Democratic Party because they are fighting against what he is doing, and they're fighting against his church, and they're fighting against everything that God is trying to establish. They're fighting against abortion. They're a lot of the places that are passing full-term abortion, all of them are Democrat. The Democratic Party, I don't believe in usually I am political because I believe that the prophets of old addressed the politics of their day. And there's a spirit of Jezebel over California. There is great revival and there are great ministries of outpouring in California, but there's a spirit of Jezebel that is trying to silence the mouths of the prophets, the prophetic sound of the Lord, what God is saying through the church. Jezebel cut off the heads of the prophets, and she hired false prophets to say what she wanted. And that's what happened in California. They hired some preachers to go with their bill to make it look like they had the support of religious groups. These are false leaders. They're not leaders of God. They're deceived leaders standing with a Jezebelic system over California right now. But I declare and I prophesy that you're going to see the exposure of such moral failure in California. You're going to see moral failure from their leaders, a lot of their leaders. There's going to be a lot of things that are about to be uncovered concerning that state because God is about to overturn and he's about to cut off the head of Jezebel. And if the church in California does not stand up and begin to speak out and to begin to say, we are going to say, thus saith the Lord, we're going to begin to say what God is saying, then we're going to see persecution, more persecution, more laws, legislation passed against California in California. And they're going to try to sprinkle that into the rest of the nation. And so that's what the word of the Lord gave me toward California, places like California. New Jersey is another state. And so the church needs to say something in California. You need leaders. If you're watching me from California, you need, in the body of Christ, I'm calling to pray for California, to pray against Resolution 99, to pray for that state. It's a state that has a history of revival, a history of God pouring out His Spirit. Azusa happened there. Some great ministries there. Great ministries. We know Bethel. All these great ministries are there. But I'm telling you, there's a demonic assignment against California because of the destiny on California that has been on California to silence the church, to bring persecution against the church in the name of LBGT rights. And so we have to veto that in the courts of heaven, and we have to begin to intercede. A spirit of intercession has to come on the whole church of California because of what the devil is trying to do. But I prophesy that Jezebel will not silence the church. Church, arise in California. Arise and like Elijah, like Jehu, and refuse to bow to that spirit of Jezebel that's trying to tell you what you can and cannot preach from your pulpits.